Pakistan wirtschaftlich tätig und das könnte deutlich mehr werden. Und deshalb freue ich mich sehr über das Interesse der deutschen Wirtschaft, aber auch über die Anstrengungen, die es in Pakistan gibt, die Rahmenbedingungen für ausländische Investitionen zu verbessern.
So I am delighted about the interest of the German business community and also the efforts in Pakistan to create the right framework for foreign investment in the country so that the interest of German companies pays off in practical terms in Pakistan too. We also talked about a big number of political topics, and we share many interests here. The German government has adopted its Indo-Pacific guidelines last year and created a framework to strengthen German commitment in the region. This is also what we discussed today, and this is why this visit today is so important for us, and it is a good opportunity to look for more initiatives and projects together with Pakistan in this area. Pakistan plays a crucial role for stability in the region in South Asia, and this is why we have talked about this geographical area today. Of course, Afghanistan is an important topic here. The goal is very clear. Peace negotiations need to be continued, and violence in the country has to come to an end after decades of conflict. We owe it not only to the people in Afghanistan, but we owe it to the region as a whole, because we know only if there is peace in the region, stability in the region can be improved and strengthened. For Pakistan as a neighbor, the situation in Afghanistan is, of course, of special importance. More stability in Afghanistan means positive effects for Pakistan too. In Pakistan, Pakistan has hosted more than 3 million Afghan refugees, and I'd like to give you that number to illustrate how intensively Pakistan is influenced by developments in Afghanistan. I would like to expressly thank you and express my appreciation for Pakistan to be such an active voice in the peace process and is making great efforts to find a peaceful solution for the conflict in Afghanistan. We talked a lot today about the upcoming conferences, and we talked about how the parties involved, and especially the Taliban, can be moved towards what we believe is of utmost importance, and that is reducing violence in Afghanistan. Of course, we also talked about the situation in the relationship with India, and knowing about the potential for conflict that is ongoing, but we do see the right steps in the right direction. For example, understanding on technical issues such as strictly observing the ceasefire along the line of control, and other hands-on issues as well, such as fighting the corona pandemic together. And that shows that the difficult situation is improving step by step. In this spirit, I would like to say once again that I have very fond memories of my own visit to Islamabad 2 years ago. I have great memories of the special atmosphere at the Bari Imam Shrine. Under corona conditions, unfortunately, we cannot offer similar beautiful memories here in Berlin at this time, but we hope that you have some positive impressions from your visit in the city, and we hope that there will be future visits after the end of the pandemic too, and that we will be able to have visits that will allow us to show each other more of our beautiful countries and the people who live here. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Foreign Minister. Thank you for your invitation. And thank you for visiting Pakistan in March 2020. We had a good exchange of views when you visited Islamabad. And thank you for providing me an opportunity to be here in Berlin, despite the COVID challenge, to have a physical meeting, because no virtual meeting can be as good as a physical meeting, meeting in person. It makes a huge difference. So thank you for providing that opportunity. This year is a special year for us. As you said, we were one of the earlier countries to recognize West Germany, which is now, Germany. We are celebrating 70 years of our diplomatic relations, and the logo behind us is demonstrating that 70 years of good relations, good, friendly, bilateral relations. We want to deepen them. We want to broaden them. We want to have more economic linkages with Germany. One understands how important German economy is for not just for Europe, but for global economy. Your technology, your precision, your hard work, these are very important ingredients that you people have, and we want to benefit from that. We want to benefit from technology transfer. We want to benefit from a new economic relationship with Germany, and we have a mechanism in place. We also recognize that you are one of our important trading partners, and thank you. And thank you for being so supportive to us by helping us achieve the GSP Plus, within the European Union. And since the launch of that initiative, Pakistan's trade has increased considerably, not just in Germany, but in the entire European Union, and it's doubled since the initiative. And that has been a great, great help for us. We are thankful for the assistance we received from you for Corona through the UN Humanitarian Fund effort. And we do recognize that you are going through a challenging time, so are we. The third wave is far more serious and far more severe than the first two that we dealt with successfully. So we have to see how we can cooperate with each other dealing with this pandemic, because as I said earlier on in our talks, that nobody's safe till everyone is safe. The interdependence is so pronounced now, and we have to understand that. And that is why you have to play your role in getting vaccination out to the developing world. And thank you for being supportive on this initiative of additional providing 15 million doses to Pakistan by May, and COVAX, can play a very, very important role in that. So thank you for your support. We need vaccination. We have a country of 220 million people, and the vaccination that is being, the vaccine that is being inoculated is primarily the Chinese that we've got, and that is still not enough. So thank you for helping us. On FATF, thank you. Thank you for not allowing this forum to be politicized. It's a technical forum, and it has to address technical issues of money laundering, issues of terror financing, and thank you for being supportive. You do recognize what this government, what Pakistan has done on account of, meeting its political obligations vis-a-vis the FATF recommendations. And I am grateful that Germany and the rest of the world do recognize the effort Pakistan has made. We have, as I said, lots of opportunities for German investments in Pakistan, for enhancing, promoting bilateral trade between us, and we should look at, and we will look at, those opportunities. Chancellor Merkel has done a great job representing her country so ably, and I am sure she would be recognized not just by the people of Germany, by history, for the role and for the stability and the growth this country had under her leadership. I know she is keen to meet Prime Minister Imran Khan, and she finds him as an interesting interlocutor, but the COVID is a big challenge, and hopefully, if things improve, they can have that meeting. And Prime Minister Imran Khan is equally keen to visit Germany and meet with the leadership over here. Thank you for being understanding on the visa issue and the delays that are being caused. And we did discuss how we can overcome the delays, by increasing staff and, by doing things differently and more efficiently. We also discussed the role the diaspora, Pakistani diaspora, is playing in Germany, and how we can look at legal avenues of migration. It's an issue, I understand. It's not just a German issue, it's a European issue. And it has to be understood, and you have to see how do you deal with that. I have certain ideas which I shared with you, and we can look into them even further. Afghanistan. We've had a good discussion on Afghanistan. Our approach is very similar. Our objectives are identical. We want peace, we want stability, we want progress, we want prosperity there. We recognize Germany has played an important role in stabilizing the situation in Afghanistan. We also recognize that you value to protect the advancements made in the last 2 decades, and I'm with you on that. So we will remain in touch on the Afghan issue at every forum. If there is an Istanbul meeting and other processes, you do recognize that the Doha agreement was a step forward, and we need to build upon it, and that's what Pakistan has been advocating. So thank you for doing that. On the security situation, the peace and security situation in South Asia, I've shared my views. I have said that Pakistan has been keen in normalizing relations with India. We want to live in peace with all our neighbors, including India. We have issues, and those issues can only be resolved through dialogue. And for a meaningful dialogue to take place, we need a conducive environment. Who has to create that conducive environment? In my view, India has to take the first step, because they took the first step on the 5th of August 2019 in vitiating the climate. Now they have to create an enabling climate, and if they do so, Pakistan would be receptive, and Pakistan would be forthcoming. Thank you. There's a lot that can be discussed: economic relations, other corporations, but where I am, the positive view that I have, the positive vibe that I've felt, on this trip is that Pakistan and Germany can move ahead, and move ahead with speed. There's a lot that we can do for each other. So thank you for giving me the opportunity to be here.
Thank you very much. We have the opportunity for a few questions now, and the first question will be from Mr. Iftar Atap.
Thank you very much, Foreign Minister. First of all, congratulations for the 70 years of diplomatic relations. My question is that if we talk about the bilateral trade between Pakistan and Germany, the growth is not very rapidly fast if we compare to other regional countries doing trade with Germany. So Pakistan, however, offers a lot of conducive environment, new investment policies, but Germany haven't been able to take benefits of these investment opportunities. If we see China also investing in Pakistan immensely. So my question is why Germany is still a bit reluctant in terms of economic cooperation. Mr. Qureshi, if you can also comment to that.
Ja, das ist ja einer der Gründe, warum wir heute zusammen.
Well, this is one of the reasons today we want to change. We believe that 35 German companies in Pakistan are too few. We would hope for more. German companies have the opportunity to receive government support if they invest abroad. We are going to discuss how German investments can be accompanied. Of course, stability in a country is important for investments. So questions like relations to India and Afghanistan play an important role, and we're happy that we had a constructive discussion about this today. The German government adopted Indo-Pacific guidelines a couple of months ago, and these guidelines say that we want to continue to build upon our commitment in the Indo-Pacific, and Pakistan is one of the countries that is of particular interest to us, and this is why this meeting today served this question: how can we actually accompany this political interest with and flank it with economic relations so that both sides can benefit from it. And this is why I assume that in the future we will tap into the potential that we have, and we will be able to use this potential more than in the past, just as the government actually said in its guidelines. That holds true for economic questions, but also for security political questions, overall political questions. And I'm happy that we were able to address these topics and made progress today in our meeting.
Thank you for your question. I did have a good discussion on this issue with the Foreign Minister. I did highlight the shift of policy in Pakistan, the shift from geopolitics to geoeconomics, the decision of the Foreign Office, of the Foreign Minister, to engage with other important countries like Germany and this economic diplomacy strategy of ours. I also shared the new incentives that we have put in place for German investors to come and invest in Pakistan, and the opportunities of bilateral trade. Pakistan can be the hub. We have a population of 220 million people. That's a large market, but you go beyond Pakistan into Central Asia. So there are great opportunities for Germany's trade and investment in Pakistan and beyond. I did also highlight certain areas where we feel that they have strength, Germany has strength, and we will benefit from. For example, the renewable energy sector, solar. There's no shortage of sunshine in Pakistan, and you have the technology to give us solar energy, which is environmental friendly. And the world is talking about climate change today. You've also talked about electric vehicles. We've just launched a new policy on electric vehicles. That's an area where you can step in and benefit. And both sides stand to gain from that. I talked about IT, tourism. Next month, we'll be launching a very comprehensive strategy on tourism. How are we opening our country, liberalizing our visas, letting people come into Pakistan and see what can be done. And you have, millions of tourists visiting, your country, and you have experience, you have expertise, you are knowledgeable. Help us in doing that. So there are great opportunities, and we've had a very good discussion on that.
Mr. Björn Stritzel will have the second question.
Thank you very much. I'd like to ask the foreign minister. You mentioned the conflict between the nuclear powers, Pakistan and India. In the past week, you started renegotiating with another potentially a nuclear state in the region. Did you also address Iran with your Pakistani foreign minister? Because the neighboring states of Iran, this is being criticized that the neighboring states are not being involved in the negotiations. Could you update us on the negotiations, the state of affairs in Vienna, and give us an insight in how the discussions are taking place? And third, Iran is holding a woman from Cologne in hostage. Did you discuss this with your partners in Iran? And allow me to address a question to the Pakistani foreign minister. The German foreign minister said, you're not able to do sightseeing in Berlin. I would have liked to show you a mosque of the Mahdi Muslims in Berlin. Whenever I talk to them, we had a big report about them. They all tell us because why they come to Germany, because they were being persecuted. The Ahmadis are not the only minorities in Pakistan. Christians suffer from laws, people from Baluchistan, which are cut off economic development. Could you tell us when all citizens in Pakistan enjoy the same rights? Allow me to begin on the consular case you mentioned. We actually are in contact with the authorities in Tehran. We hope to find a solution. We're trying to do this on the consular path and trying to do it informally, which is in the interest of the persons.